you have to complete your evaluation, trail mixes, not the system. To do the system, you have enough time. You have to complete the trail mixes, and there will be some Q&A on 15th July. So we will see where you all are, and we can push you accordingly, right? Okay. Yeah. So today's session, since we have the evaluation next week, today's session we are going to discuss your questions, issues, and we are going to see where you are and you need any support on anything or something like that, right? And let me tell the agenda first. So first 30 minutes we will discuss in general forum, like everyone in the same meeting. After 30 minutes, we will take the team by team. Those who in person, we will take it inside the meeting room and we will discuss, because your ideas and your idea related questions should be discussed within your team and us only, right? So if you are asking questions also, keep it in mind. So entire team is in the call for first 30 minutes. So don't discuss any of your ideas in the general panel. You can ask general Salesforce related questions, right? So after 30 minutes, we will have a team-wise discussion, each and every team. So that time we can discuss your ideas, what's the way forward and all, and we'll do that kind of discussion, right? Yeah. So first of all, Salesforce basics. So you all know Salesforce is a cloud-based platform. It's already semi-built. If you wanted to develop something, you have to just subscribe to the relevant cloud and do the changes on top of it, configuration code changes on top of it, right? So that's how we have to develop in Salesforce. But since you all are going to develop your system in the Trailhead Playground or your Trailhead Developer org, which is entirely a learning org, you will have the features from each and every cloud, whichever require the basic features in the same environment. So you don't need to subscribe, or you don't need to buy, or you don't need to pay anything for anyone. You just have to work on the sample developer environment, the learning environment. So there will be some restrictions, for example, the number of users, those kind of restrictions there. So what you have to do, you have to justify for this. So if we develop like this, it will look like this. Those kind of areas you have to able to justify without showing. Other areas you should be able to develop the working product. This is for the final. For the next week evaluation, we will purely check your knowledge, basic knowledge. So are you ready to develop the system or not? Because final stage going to have the professionals around the world, right? So we all wanted to ensure you are in a right state to show your talents in front of everyone. Because of that, we are going to do something. So this evaluation just to understand you and push you in a relevant path to reach. That's it, right? Okay, so this is for Salesforce basics. So then we have checked the Salesforce data model, right? So you all are like higher school, I mean, after school, school leavers, university students and all, right? So data model, that's the next step. So once you know your idea is compatible with Salesforce, what you have to do it, you have to create your data model. So we have shared the videos, trail mixers for you to follow. We hope you all are studied and followed them and doing it. So while doing that, you can map your requirement, your idea into data model. How you are going to store? What are the objects you want to create? What are the fields you want to create? How you are going to map your idea into database? That's the next step you are going to do. For that, make sure you complete the YouTube videos and trail mix relevant to that area. Then only it will be helpful for you. And if you have any questions on Salesforce basics and data model, questions, so we can discuss. Then, yeah. So basically, last sessions I talked, you guys all were silent. That's fine, acceptable. From here onwards, you should able to talk. Then only we will know what you want to know. Otherwise, I will talk whatever I plan and I'll go because I will have the understanding. But it's you have to have the understanding to complete your assignment. It's a competition, right? If we will have the separate session team wise, we can take on your questions relevant to your idea. But use these forums to learn, and it's to support you, not to ask you to come and sit and listen and go, right? That's not going to have any impact or anything. They're not going to give you anything, right? Okay. So the third thing here, important part is UI, right? So Salesforce has a native UI. If you want to create a UI from development, you can learn the UI creation languages and you can do. Otherwise, you can use the Salesforce UI. What we need to know in Salesforce UI, what are the things we can display, how we can configure the UI, how we can display the data for the different users, right? So I'll take you to the system and show some steps, very, very basic things, right? So you can see. Then last one is logic. So you are going to develop your logic for your ideas using approval process, email template, email alert, even some of the cases if you need to write code with the code, right? So these all things we have to have the at least the plan for your idea, right? Not the development plan. If you have the plan, what are the UI changes I want to do? What are the data? What is the data model I wanted to make it? What is the logic? What are the automation tool I want to use it? If you have the clear idea by right now, you will able to complete the things within time, right? So the first evaluation going to be theoretical one Q&A. The second evaluation going to be system, right? We'll see the system before allowing you to the final. So this time now we had like uh, the enjoy the period, like learn, and you can postpone last moment, so you can spend that period is over, right? Whenever you want, you can study. Whenever you want, you can enjoy. That period is over. Now this is a period you have to be serious, right? If you are not taking the thing serious at this moment, you and your team only will be in trouble at last moment, right? Okay. So let me take into a system. Okay, let's see the system. Okay, so you can see, so whenever you want to develop something, you have to go to the setup and you have to develop it here. And whenever you wanted to test it in a record view, you have to go to these 9 dots and right, check it here. So this is how you have to switch between the developer mode and user mode, right? And also when we wanted to create data model object or field, you can go to the object manager and you can create the objects and can create the fields, right? So if you go to object, you can go to the fields and relationship and you can create the fields. If you want to know, if you want to see your schema builder, you can go system schema builder or from here you can
Hi.
able to see the data model.
Ma'am, you share your screen? We can.
Sorry. Okay. Okay. 1 second. Give me 1 minute. I'll come back. Okay. Now I think you can able to see my screen, right? Yeah. So there are 2 points you need to remember. One is the developer mode. Going to developer mode, you have to click on the setup gear icon, setup. So you can go to the developer mode. Here you have your object manager. Here you can create your object, field, and all. So the data model, when you wanted to do the data model, when you click the schema builder, it will take into the screen where you can see your schema builder relationship between your objects, right? So when you design your system, right, when you design your system in a database, you can always go to this screen and you can choose only the object relevant to your design, right? And you can see the relationship between them, right? So everything you can see it in the same screen. Right? Likewise, you can choose the objects, so you can see what is this related to and all the things, right? So this view will ease your work. You can check your design here, and you can see, okay, this one I have to connect. If you are developing a system for a university, you can just say you have student record, lecturer record, and courses record. So those objects you can create, and you can see how it will connect and it's connected in a right way or not. So this is the first step for your idea, right? So when you have idea, you should be able to know what you can do it in Salesforce and how you can create the data model, and that should be finalized by now. Then only that will be easy for you. If not, just make it fast. Within next week, you have to, if you complete the data model, what are the object you want to create, how you're going to relate it, and what is the purpose, and those things, you will be in track, right? So now this is the time to move ahead. Now learning only part is over. Now you have to learn and apply it on your idea, because it's a competition. If you, as soon as you complete your system, only you can add some more enhancement and innovation part to your system, right? So you have to complete your system, and your system should be more attractive, more unique than others. Because at the end of the day, first, second, third means three teams only can on that. So it's a competition. So make sure you are understanding the things and applying things right way, and you are on right track on time. So this is for data, right? And again, let's say you wanted to modify the UI, right? So again, you have to go to setup, object manager. Let's say I'm going to modify the contact UI. So we can select the layout, and you can add or remove fields. Whatever required, you can add it from here. Whatever required, you can remove it from here, right? And also, if you want to edit the page, you can edit the page from here. You can access the same thing from the object manager also. So you can add whatever the required part from here to here. So if it is required, so related record, related to list, tabs, rich text, topic, list view, the Twitter. So custom component, if you have developed any custom components, that's also you can keep it. It's just a drag and drop here, right? So likewise, you can do it. So in the morning session for the juniors also we discussed the same. So you can keep not only the particular object information, you can keep the relevant related information also, related object information also in the same page, right? So you can see here related record. So you can add some related records, whatever the information. So you can, if it is related to each other, you can do that, right? So in order to do, you need to create some action. So if you are relating on other, you can have to create the action. You can put the report chart if you have a report. So you can put the report chart here. So that is also on this object record or related object record. You can put the report chart, rich text areas, new tabs, topic. So likewise, lots of things you can add if it is required. So if it is required to your idea, if it's relevant to your idea, you can explore and pick the things and update. So once you update this and save, it will reflect in your account. So I don't have a report. I don't have the action right now. So I'm just keeping that. So because for senior level, I wanted to go more into your idea wise, so group wise. So generic things, we keep it very limited. So because some team will work on some area, other team will work on totally irrelevant area. That's why we are going to have the team-based discussion. So you will learn the things relevant to you. It will save some time for you. So likewise, you can modify the UI. So you have your YouTube videos and Trailhead modules to learn on that. And also next thing is logic. So when you wanted to form your logic, you can go for the tools, right? You have approval process, you have email alerts, right? We have flows. Those things also we have a separate video session which we shared, and we have separate Trailhead modules that's also we shared, and those who are interested in coding. So this is a sample flow. So here also, if you want to edit, you have to just add drag and drop. Right? Let me create a new flow. Right? It can be, there are lots of things based on your need. You can get it. Let me go for a record create. So let's see here. So I'll go for case. Right? So here you can add the things, right? So what is the start, what is the end, and what we can do it. So those kind of things you can add it, right? So here you can follow the YouTube video which we shared. So we can do the things, right? We have to create the resources, parameters, and use it here, and new screens and all. So you can do it with the flow builder, right? So the similarly approval process, email alert, escalation rules, assignment rules, duplicate rules, matching rule. There are lots of things there. So our idea is like this. So you if you are learning everything and then only doing your system, it will take some 1 year at least to do, right? So those who followed the beginner boot camp, they have covered within 3 months only the basics of Salesforce, right? So we will have the intermediate session and advanced session after this Hackforce competition. For the idea is we show what are the basic, where to find what, right? So when we have the team-wise discussion, we will go into detail based on your idea, what you wanted to use and what are the things you want to learn. That's the idea, right? But this data model, UI, and Salesforce basic, and logic creation, how we are going to create the logic and tools and security and whatever we shared in the videos and trail mix, both are required for everyone. That's why we shared in general. Hereafter, we will have the team-wise discussion. We will share the resources and material required for you to develop your idea. So that will be more specific. And your idea and your team related discussion, we will keep it within your team and ourselves. So don't discuss anything in public, right? It's a competition, right? You should have some unique things, and you should maintain your idea should be keep it secret until final, right? So we will, I think that's it from my end for the generic one. If you have any questions, we can discuss general questions which we can discuss in the forum. Then we will start one by one team by team. We will take into the room for those who are in person. We will take into the breakout room for those who are online, right? So now it's time for the questions. Any questions, clarification required, you can ask. I'll give you 1 minute. If no questions, then we can. If you have a question, we can discuss. There's no time limit for that. Otherwise,
Yeah,
we will go ahead with the team-wise discussion.
Can you little bit explain about this Salesforce data model, the expectations from your side?
Can you repeat the question again, Adusha?
Yeah, can you explain little bit about this data model, Salesforce data model?
Yeah. So Salesforce data model. have you followed the YouTube videos and the drill mixes? Can we specific to the question? Because Salesforce data model, we did a session for like 2.5 hours. I'll give you the basic. So Salesforce data model in the sense, Salesforce, we do have the predefined data model, right? Already they have developed the data model, right? So what we have to do is we have to check when we want to develop, we have to check whether the existing object, existing data model, we can use it or not. Let's say you are doing a university system, then you want to store the students' information. You can go ahead and see in the object model what I can use it. So for that, we can use the contact, right? So when you go to contact, you will see the fields whether the informations are there or not. You can see the birthday, department, email, phone, address, first name, last name, all those information there. And there are some information missing, the student registration number and all. So what you can do, you can create those fields and use the existing object. Unless you cannot find object which you can use it for your implementation, you will create a new object, like example marks, courses, likewise, right? That's how you have to decide. So whenever you are creating a new, if you want to create a new object, you can go
Sorry,
here and
madam,
create
excuse
a
me.
new object, and you can decide the following. So this kind of information, if it is required to you, you can search it and find what is this, and you can create the object. And you can decide how we are going to relate the object with others. And again, if the object is, after the object is created, if you want the field, you can create new field, right? And you can decide who should have the access to what. So that means you will go to your user profile. So let's say you have multiple users, then you can choose the profile. So let's say you can see this is system admin profile. So this is a different profile. So each and every profile you can specify what is the access they want to have, field wise, tab wise. Tab means a view, record type wise, and
I
object.
sharing my screen.
Hello,
Sorry.
excuse me, madam. We cannot see this screen.
Yeah, so you can go to users, right? So when you go to users, you can choose the profile. You will have lots of profiles. So in the profile, you can decide what are the access you are going to give the user. So the users associated with this profile will have the access. So we are mentioning here. So you can see what are the page layout, what are the field security for each and every object, and tab security, and standard object permission. Do you have read access or create edit access? Likewise, custom object permission, session settings, so IP range, login hours, those kind of things you can do it in the profile. So based on the profile, the user will get the access. But in your developer org, you will have only 2 users. So because of that, you might need to design it in a way you can just show how it's going to display. You may not be able to show the functionality in that much very detail. So that's something for this. And okay, for the objects, you can go here and you can create the object, and you can, yeah, you can select, give the information if it is relevant to you, and if you have, after creating the object, you can go to the fields, create the fields based on your type. You can create that. So that's it for that. And we did the session for data modeling, and we shared the video recording as well as the trail mixes. If you follow, you will get more understanding. If you have any specific area related questions, you can ask. Otherwise, if you ask generally, like, we cannot do the session again here. Yeah. Anyway, that's a good thing. Data model is very important. The first next step is you have to finalize your data model. That means what are the object required, what are the object you are going to use within the available object, What are the new object you are going to create? What is the relationship between the object you want to have? And what are the fields for each object field type you are creating? Right? That's all information should be there. And you have 4 members in the team, right? So you one person, you can start development and you can make the things diagrams and development everything parallel. No need to be that much clear, but the judges should able to understand your data model by looking at the diagram. That's enough, right? So you can parallelly start work on it. Any other questions? This is the forum for questions. Everyone has to talk. No matter it's a big question or small question, so but everything we can answer, and otherwise we will guide you. That's totally fine. Yeah. Any other questions? So see, these all other features. So if I just not showing it, it's all other features available. App related features, right? So likewise, so you cannot learn everything. Whatever required to you, you have to learn. But the basic things, everything you have to learn. Right? That's why we need to have the mentoring meeting and this kind of evaluations and this kind of workshops to understand you are going in right track or not, because Salesforce is new to you. If it is just a native language, only purely coding, you don't need to do all this. You can just start with develop. But here you should understand what is there, what is not there. Because of that, we are doing this session. If you attend these things, you will get more insights. So not the general one. Hereafter, it will be group specific. So it will be straight to your ideas, right? Any questions? We can start with the group specific one if you don't have any questions. We will share the things in WhatsApp and be online. We will take the online participant to the breakout room and in-person participant to the room, right? But if you have any question, you can ask. This is like a forum, right?